Annika and I are getting dressed right now. She just got her socks on. We need to do something with her hair and some shoes. I'm waiting for my dress. It's being fitted to my height. I'm a little shorter than I thought, so she's hemming it up. But this is the dressing room for the ladies. And we got 4 stalls here to get changed in. All the hats for the women are there, and the men's hats are here. It's a cute little dressing room. So here's Willem, all dressed up in top hat. Okay, you got your top hat and you're ready to go? And Lawrence? So here we are in Sherbrooke Village, just outside the tea room, and this is 1867. We are explorers.
We are.
Let's go visit the blacksmith. That's the blacksmiths.
One just next to the bike.
Are these raisins?
For you, just so we can teach you as I went.
Cool.
You can hang up something when you get home. Nice.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Just walked into the post office.
What makes on you?
Is it? And here's the post office. Okay. And we'll walk over to the print shop, which is right next door. Printery. They print stuff here.
As I said, I assume the wood pulp paper will take off eventually, but for now it's all the rag paper, as you can imagine. So we do obviously have to keep our place warm here, especially since the ink does need to stay warm in order for it to flow in the winter time. This is our ink here. And this would be an ink that we have been using since the 1860s, made by the same company, no doubt. And it gets put up here onto the pad. This is a steel pad. And what happens is as this rotates around, you'll notice that the rollers go up and come down over the letters that are in that chase I showed you a wee bit ago. And this rotates every time, so that we're constantly getting a new spot on the pad every time. And as it rolls down over the letters, it is filling the letters with the ink, and then I just have to take a page. Here we have our tinting sheet, it's called, and it is set with little pins to show where the paper is going to go, and that was set by the printer first thing this morning. So I should be able to just put that in like that, and when I'm ready I pull this lever, and that's what's going to make the two pads come together. You've got to be ready to catch it in here.
Oh, it's printing.
And there is our printout. So of course, once you get yourself into the rhythm, you put it in with one hand, you take it out with the other, and you get a good number of prints going at a time. And it all is controlled by my own leg here, so I pretty much have a control of the rhythm. I can go faster or slower as I need to. And should I need to end the cycle right away, I can jump right onto the button and it'll stop right away. Just like that.
That's cool, eh?
That's neat.
And that's how our printer works. This is the newest in technology. It was just built in 1901, if you can imagine. So we have some of the newest technology from Chandler and Price in Cleveland, Ohio. It came here by ship from up the shore there.
Table.
Yeah.
I'll show you how I put it all together.
What is wrong in mine?
So I have a gentleman that's just learning. It is a seven-year apprenticeship.
Wow.
So anything that you want to print, you have to pick out each individual letter, turn it upside down, and then you run across from left to right to spell it out the right way. So this one says, do you guys know what
Bonnie.
that? Close.
Ronnie was an R.
Ron.
Yeah, with an R, right? So
I thought
every
it was
letter.
Bonnie.
It kind of looks like Bonnie, yeah. So this is the case that it came from, so you have to memorize where all the letters are. So we have lowercase, uppercase letters, you have to pull them all out, put them all together, then everything gets tightened in a frame, right? So I want to make it tight so I can lift this whole thing up and carry it to the machine over there to get it printed. So this is what this says right here. So I'm just going to unlock it. And we have an open frame, and the open frame is what fits the machine. Anything I want to print has to fit inside the space that's there. So if it's bigger than that, I can do it maybe in 2 different printings and then add it together. But for the most part, we just try to stay within our means of the frame. So you can see how there's lines, right? All the individual letters. I'll pull one out there. Whoops. Right, so they all go together. You fill in all your little empty spaces and such all the way down. And then I have to fill in with pieces of wood because there's no letters here or here, right? So I fill it in with the wood. And then I have wedges that go in at the bottom. And that just squeezes everything tight. So I squeeze it tight, and then I have a special wrench, and it turns to hold everything in place. Once that's tight, then I'm able to lift the whole thing up and carry it over to get it printed. Here's where I do the paper making.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I did all this stuff from the paper that we make from scrap pieces that would have normally gone in the garbage, right? So all these are cards and journals and different pieces that you can even buy by itself. And I soaked it for like 2 weeks. And then I brought it out here in this form. Right, so this is what it looked like. So just like mushed up oatmeal, mush. Right, so that is what goes in my big tub of water here. Would somebody like to help me here? Stir up my pot of mush. Okay, so you can stir it up. And what I did is I added little bits of flowers, and I think we should add some daisy petals. I'd like to add some of those, pull the petals off and throw them in the water, okay? Now,
This is what recycling paper really would look like.
okay, so this is called a mold and a decal, right? And it's just a screen in here, and the screen is going to collect all the paper on top, right? All the little bits. Go down in the water and come back up and kind of rock it back and forth just like you're on a boat, right? And let the water drain off.
And you get all the paper.
That's right, right?
Like
Some
you're getting
reshape.
gold.
Right,
You're getting gold.
exactly. Somebody told me that. They thought I was panning for gold here the other day.
Yeah.
Right, so we want to collect some of the little petals that you threw in there, right? So there's a little daisy petal. All right, and then I'm going to come over here, move this one out of the way. I'm going to put down another sheet. Thank you, darling. You're a sweet little girl, huh? Helping me out. There, so now go out over here, and then we have to open that up. Do you want to open it for me? You can help. You can take that side, and I'll pick up this side. And see, it's shaped a new piece of paper, right? And then we take it up here, and you can help me do this. You can hold up here, and we're going to let that fall down on top of the material that's there. See? And you look in here, watch. See all the water? Oh, right, so we got to get rid of that water. So we just put this cloth on it, and we just go all the way around and soak the water in. Do you want to help do that? Okay. Make a new sheet, right? So there, look. All right, so now that released. And then I get another sheet of material and lay this on top. Reveals the paper. Look at that, isn't that nice?
Pieces in there. So when I did it, my entire thumb turned black. And by the next day, the skin naturally comes off anyways on a daily basis. So, but this will have to grow up. And it was called the Black Fingered Art in the time period, for good reason. Because they did not wear gloves. I have some fancy gloves that I had specially made for the event. And we will call them lambskin gloves. It's what we will call them. And if you called them anything else, I would deny it. Such witchcraft. I work with silver nitrate. Because it's a traveling studio, everything's packed into 2 wagons and brought over. The only thing that is not is this. This is the thing that comes over last because it's the film. And if I leave it in a wagon and I bring it over here, what happens is it gets air bubbles in it, which is not so bad. But when I pour the film onto the glass plate and there's little tiny bubbles, what happens is when they get on the glass plate, they break. And there's no film where they were. So I end up with black spots sprinkled all over my photographs before I ever even start. So a girl gets smart right off the hop. But that is the actual film that we use. So that's poured onto the glass, and then it's soaked in a silver nitrate bath for 3 minutes. Then it is loaded into the camera. The camera has been preset by the lovely people, and then I would remove the lens cap, or sometimes I just put my hand over it and remove the slide.
Variety of chemicals and herbs on hand that more medicine can be made. One of our more attention-getting items, and here's the show globe. Basically a large globe or vase in the window filled with a brightly colored liquid. This is just a way to let people know you could come here and buy medicine.
This is the cream they make here. Would you like to try some?
Let's go back here.
I do. You going to jail now? You gonna leave you here the rest of the day?
How are you? Lauren's being arrested.
Oh, he's already in this one.
Huh?
Lock's not on though.
Close the door.
He can still get out.
So this is
Homemade
butter. Mm-hmm. This is nice cold water. Because we always have to wash the butter.
Mm-hmm.
And all that buttermilk. Very good. You may take the stamp and you can
Stamp the butter.
stamp the butter.
Straight down from the top. Yeah.
Straight down and straight up. Stamp it.
Straight down and straight up.
There you go.
Up, up, up. Yeah.
Up. See the print? It
How
is
cruel is that?
a thistle.
It's just amazing, for sure. So it would be my job to bring the firewood and have the stove going an hour before class. Now, this is 1867. I was not allowed to be a married lady. I was not allowed to have a boyfriend. If so, then my position would be terminated. I had to board with what we call a reputable family. So you had to be with somebody very respectful if you came to this community and didn't have anywhere to stay.
Right.
So there was all kinds of these things that you had to adhere to. You had to go to church. The only reading material I could read was the Bible or anything pertaining to biblical passages. Okay? And once again, 1867. Yeah, so the minute you showed interest into a young man or vice versa, then of course your job would be terminated. You were allowed to get married.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people in that position chose to be with the children and educate the children instead of marrying. You know, that was just the way of life back then. Yeah.
Oh, there. That sandwich is about the same as mine. Maybe it's a little earlier. Mine's a 1910.
Specifically for us ladies, so us ladies do work back here quite a bit. This is our steam room, so also known as the sweat room. This is our tanner stove. It's quite lovely. However, we are a small operation here in Sherbrooke, so we only have the 3 irons that fit on this particular stove. We usually put a bit of water here and we get this room quite steamy. You can't even see the end of your nose at times, I say. So our job back here is to steam and press. Here are some of our irons. Feel free, they're quite light. They're quite beautiful, but they are quite light. We work quite a bit with them.
They're not light.
Well, now, I say.
Compared to
A
some.
bit of muscle on this one. Us ladies are, well, I will show you. Would you like to see the largest one that we have to use?
I lift that one up.
It's this one down here. It's
Oh.
40 pounds.
Wow.
Yes, don't be taking out your back on that one. Use the knees and the hips for it.
It's like a bag of chicken feed.
Oh yes, it's quite heavy.
But with a handle, so it's more convenient to carry.
Now when we do prep up our irons and get them nice and hot and ready to go, we do have, do you know what this is?
Honey?
Well, you're pretty close. Beeswax.
Ah.
Yes. So what we do with our hot iron is we glide it over the beeswax, and then we don't want too much beeswax, but sometimes it gets a little thick. So we have to just wipe a little bit off. Do you know why we put that on there? To help glide over our clothes so it doesn't stick and burn through the fabrics. Quite wonderful.
It doesn't melt the wax onto the fabric.
You still have a.
It doesn't because it's just a small amount left on it. Now I do have to tell you, Mr. McDonald refuses to use a sewing machine, despite the fact that we do have some in here. That's our leather sewing machine. It's his son that's brought them in. These young folks these days, I tell you.
The modern stuff.
Oh, very modern. But Mr. McDonald will have none of that. All of his suits are still hand done. And just so you know, it's quite a lovely price. It's $11.50. I know it's a bit heavy out of the wallet, but it's still a good, fine price for the quality
Handmade.
you get from Mr. McDonald.
I'm gonna do some glazing of these pieces here, and then I'm gonna load up the kiln to fire tomorrow.
Okay.
So these have already been bisque fired, so they're ceramic, and I've just done the insides, so now it's just dipping for the outside.
Okay.
And I have a bunch more on the back there that I've already glazed. So these were my first attempt at making inkwells last year,
Okay.
and they're too tall. I needed to make shorter ones so it would cut back on the dip time of
Oh, yes.
the quill. So these I put little handles on, they're little decorative flower vases.
Okay.
Boats.
That's a big boat.
Boat building. Yeah.
It's taller than me.
You can only make a boat so big in this particular building.
Yeah.
You'd have to be outside to build anything bigger.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, nice. And we'll keep the door shut. Woo! Yeah, there's the cooler for some cool drinks and a portable air conditioner. Everything for an 1860s home, okay?
Yep. 1860s home, right down to the pills.
We got the lamps
The pills
over there.
that make you have for pale people that make you pink. Pink pills for pale people.
Wow. Blood builder and nerve restorer. Okay.
Yeah, 50 cents a pill.
Wow, that was expensive.
They were. That was just powder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Archibald's pain balsam.
Yeah.
Coughs, colds, cramps, chills, cholera, and colic.
Yeah.
Did you like Advil today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the sugar?
That's how sugar came back.
I talked to the kids before about sugar.
Yeah, it's a cone, and we cut off the size you want.
Yeah.
Everything in the store is measured off in pounds or gallons or quarts. Everything's done by bulk.
Right. That's the way I like it. Oh, we got cheese in the cupboard here?
Yes.
Oh, we found a mouse on it.
And that pesky mouse. It's one of those mice that float around.
I'm told we didn't come in that particular fashion. We came in to get dressed. And nobody told us about the mice until after. So we weren't looking for them.
How do you find your dress hot?
It's hot.
It is hot.
Oh, yeah.
And the suit's not warm either.
Suits okay. It's the hat that's.
Yeah.
Catching the heat, yeah.
Is this a butter mold over there, or were you making pastries in it?
That's pastries. I
Okay.
believe. I'm not a good cook, but you can mold anything in that you want,
I guess,
suppose.
yeah.
I mean, it could be for tarts. It could be for anything, right?
I did
But they do see.
I did some heart-shaped butters. I put garlic in them.
Yeah,
They were
they could do
delicious.
that. And then right here, there's molds there too.
Oh, yeah.
It looks more like for tarts.
Okay.
And All the latest moles that Queen Victoria was favoring of. She's the one that made us all start with. She loved moles for puddings.
They're all tin, I suppose.
Yeah. You take your dog and you put him here.
Yes.
You tie yourself a nice soup bone here. And he'll churn your butter for you.
Oh, yes. I love it.
And he built, it was made by a guy in Sackville, I believe. Stewiak. His advertisement's right there.
Oh, yes.
And you put your dog there. And oh, your little poochie make your butter for you.
Oh my
Such a good
gosh.
boy.
I like the ones that you rock and you just kick them and then you come back and kick
dogs?
them again. No, not the dog.
I was gonna say, okay.
No, the butter turner. You just give it a little kick when you go by.
Details. Yeah, and if you bring me a jug, I can pour you off some molasses. Our barrels, that's the size of the molasses barrels.
Wow.
Yeah, quite a bit. There's some prices right there. If there's one, it's $79.95. 2 people in it, it's $89.
Okay.
And 3 is $99.
Okay. I don't think we can do two.
I'll take a picture.
And we're missing a child anyway. Where'd the other one go? Oh, there's the chickens. So they're behind the general store too. Oh, and what do we got in there? A partridge? What is that, a turkey? Something bigger. Oh, I have a spoon. Actually, I have a couple spoons from here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're,
I got this, the taster spoon,
okay.
the double-ended one.
You might be able to tell by what's lying between my feet what I'm doing here. I'm making an axe handle.
Oh, yes.
So normally I'm making Windsor chairs or parts thereof. Hoping I'll be able to work a bargain on some lumber that way.
Oh, yes. That's a good deal.
So, well, you know, you gotta try and strike bargains where you can. Practice piece for now. Because I'm gonna let it dry long enough to work.
So now we're in the telephone exchange.
People would call up, would ring, it would light up, and I'd say, who do you want to talk to? I want to talk to number 50, okay, or number 95. Plug it in that way. We make a connection, and when we're done talking, it would be disconnected. It was all done by hand.
Yeah. Many people had jobs doing this. Way back before the digital age.
Yeah. Yeah.
30 minutes of my time.
I was gonna say, the rug hooking stuff there. Here they're making a rug. A welcome mat, huh? Hello. Some wool combing stuff here. Some wool combing stuff there. And some thrashers.
Flax for making.
Yeah.
Linen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You gotta be really careful with the size you make of each loop then.
Well, you try to keep your loops even
Yeah.
in that. They're all the same size. And sometimes they'll come out real easy, and other times they'll torment you to death.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good soft wool.
So we spin, we wash our wool, which we did, and we let it dry.
Mm-hmm.
And then we pick it. You take the wool, that's the dirty wool. So then you pick it and you pull all the wood chips out. So when you're done picking it, this is what it looks like. See
All
that?
clean. All
You
clean.
feel that? It's all clean. So when we're done that, so we wash it, we shave it and we wash it and we dry it, and then we pick it, and then Heather's does carding. Yeah.
Is that stuff sharp?
Very sharp. So what you do, you just comb it.
You get the fibers going the same direction.
Yeah, you just want the fibers all going down like that. See, like that. And you do that because you want everything down.
You beat it.
And Heather's going to show you how to spin this.
And look, and just tuck and roll this up. And that's called your roller. Look how nice that is. So I get the wheel going around, and I lay what I've carded next to what's spun. And see the two, they just join together as one. So I just draw the fibers apart and let the twist go up the space. And depending on how far I draw the fibers apart, that's what determines how thick or thin the wool's going to be. And if I want it to roll in a different spot, I just move it to another hook, and it'll build up in a new spot.
And she pulls it down to make the string go tight against the other strings. And,
See,
she's crisscrossing.
There's 520 threads across here.
Yeah.
And each thread goes through an eye, which is called your heddle.
Okay.
And your heddle is fastened to your harness. Next thread goes through a heddle, fastened to a different harness.
Okay.
So this loom, there's 4 harnesses here.
Okay.
Each harness is holding a different grouping of thread. Now the harnesses, they're fastened to the pedals underneath. So when I'm weaving, I'm not going up and down like that with the shuttle. 4 harnesses, 4 pedals. So you press the pedals down, pulls the harnesses down, that opens up the threads. Makes a space. Throw the shuttle through the space, tack it down. If I go back the same space, it's going to come out.
Yes.
So I'm going to move my foot. This changes.
Yeah.
See your threads change.
Yeah.
So now I'm going back through a different layer of thread to what I came out of. Switch again.
And this is how you make the fabric.
Again. You need to change the arrangement of threads each time.
Yeah.
And we do that by changing this.
Don't forget to hit the like button.